What a week in politics. A red envelope of cash, and the woman Mayor Adams calls his sister faces new corruption charges. The boys are here to sort it all out. Political consultant O'Brien Murray and J.C. Polanco, a professor at the University of Mount St. Vincent. Look, the indictment of Ingrid Lewis Martin, who the mayor has always called his sister, very closest to him in the administration, and a whole bunch of other city officials and people who were donors to his campaign. What effect is this going to have on the mayor's race, if any? J.C.
It's terrible. It's the last thing he needed heading into Labor Day. I mean, to really, another person in your administration getting indicted, this time, not by the feds, but by the locals. I mean, really, give me a break. We're tired of it. When you take a look at some of the things coming out of this indictment, the lawyer in me, she's innocent until proven guilty. This is merely an accusation. Got that out the way. Good. Now, in the court of public opinion, this is disastrous. And quite frankly, it's almost as if the mayor is trying to go into a new career after this, writing the next trilogy for The Godfather, 4, 5, and 6, because this is what it looks like. I've never seen so many indictments, so many charges, so many phones confiscated. We're done with this. Enough is enough.
Let me ask you this question. If you take a look at this indictment, it looks at a gazillion agencies. It's got DOB, FDNY, DCAS, DOT, you name it. There's charges involving all these agencies. What does that say to you, and what effect do you think it has on mayor's campaign?
Well, the one thing this does is she is the right hand of the mayor, has been since day one, was in the Senate, has been forever. What you have now is the constant drumbeat. You have the CFB turning him down, and the mayor then appealing that throughout. You have one arrest, then you have another arrest, then you have a plea, then the past month and a half, you have the police commissioner, the former police commissioner, filing a lawsuit against this mayor. You have a constant drumbeat, and this is not something that a campaign can sustain at all. And the mayor, don't forget, is way down in the polls to begin with and going down. He blew every chance to go up in this thing after the Democratic primary, and he's gone down.
I've got to ask you one question. So there's one part of the indictment where it says that allegedly she used the Department of Buildings and the fire department to fast-track permits for a karaoke bar. It has echoes of one of the charges in Mayor Adams' indictment having to do with approval of the Turkish embassy. Does that bring that all up again, and is that something that voters will focus on?
I think it's not a question of focus on it. I think it is just, they don't have to focus. It's just right there in buckshot right in front of them. And it's the constant narrative that becomes the same thing. And I think this also just shows that the perception is the reality. Yes, it's an allegation. Yes, innocent until proven guilty. But as far as the voters care between now and the next 70 days at this point, all they care about is what they see, and that perception is reality.
I don't even understand anymore, Marsha. I got to tell you, why is the mayor still running? I mean, what are you doing?
That was my next question.
What are you doing? I mean, really, what formula are they using? There's no chance you're going to win this. New Yorkers are tired of this. I like this mayor a great deal. I'm so disgusted with yet another set of indictments. It's time for him to drop out and endorse former Governor Cuomo. Just get out of the race now. Make this interesting. You have Curtis Lewa polling at about 20%. Just endorse Governor Cuomo. See if you can make this a real race heading. This should be a 2-3 person race.
What's the over-under on Adams staying in the race or getting out of the race?
I don't see Adams ever leaving this race for one simple reason. His mantra, what he's talked about is, I didn't run the Democratic primary. I'm here to go after in the general, and that's my race. Secondly, the minute he doesn't run anymore and he suspends his campaign, he's a lame duck. And I think the longer he's in this race, he believes he is still a viable candidate, which he's not. This is a 3-person race at this point. You have Mandani, Cuomo, and Curtis Lewa. That's it right now, a 3-person race, and Adams bringing up the rear.
That's it. I mean, I couldn't agree more. But as far as him going to be a lame duck, he is a lame duck. You can't go past 6%, 8%. This indictment is going to make it worse. We're not even at Labor Day. New Yorkers are going to be focused more than ever after Labor Day on what's going on. And quite frankly, they want to turn the page on this.
Well, lame duck, he's still vetoing bills that the city council put up.
He'll still be a lame duck even if he stops or he continues.
I'm just saying, but he still continues to actively do things as mayor, not worry about transition.
Okay, so let's ask you this question. There's a new poll by AARP this past week, which basically had Zohran Mamdani at 41, others in various numbers, Mayor Adams at 8. And if you broke it out head-to-head, one against the other, just a mano-a-mano competition, every one of the candidates loses to Zohar Mamdani. So is there any way for any of these candidates to break out and to defeat Mr. Mamdani in the general election?
It's Mandami's to lose right now, but yes, there is a way to do that. There needs to be money spent to define Mandami. I sat here on this couch and people actually attacked me on social media. Bring it on, we love it. But in the primary, they did not go after Mandami and define him. And since the Democratic primary till today, you have not seen dollars spent defining Mandami going forward. They need to research it and go spend money against him.
So Andrew Cuomo, well, actually not Andrew Cuomo, but the Fix the City, which is a PAC, super PAC, which had supported Andrew Cuomo, now is going to start a new thing called Mainstream, where they're going to have people they're going to ask to focus on Mr. Mamdani's left of center agenda. Is that going to work?
I think it will work because people are going to start focusing after Labor Day. This is where they're going to start thinking about this race. And it's time for, and I have a lot of friends in the media, not you, Marcia, because you're a good friend. No, you're a good friend, but I'm going to say something that a lot of people are thinking. There's a lot of you guys in the press that are now cheerleading for Mamdani. You're no longer reporting the news, not you, Marcia. But if you go on the news right now, it's as if they've taken off their reporter hats and have now put on Zohar Mamdani hats. And if they are to report this race fairly, we're going to start hearing more about some of these videos where he talks about seizing the methods of production, decommodifying housing, coming after police, talking about how the DAs are the ones committing violent crime against New York City.
Obi is about to explode.
No, but that doesn't happen. What you have now is, could you believe former Governor Cuomo's trying to build coalitions out in the Hamptons, trying to bring Trump supporters, independents, and Democrats. And Assemblyman Mamdani could have the worst of the worst surrogates out there, and it doesn't even matter. So it's time to be fair.
So what you mean to say is present company excluded.
That's what I said.
I understand that, but I'm just trying to clarify.
English is my second language. I'm sorry.
So what we really have right here is everybody falling in love with Mandami because nobody is coming out against him. You talk about after Labor Day. Historically, and with CFB spending, yes, it's after Labor Day, but there's been a missed opportunity until now, and going forward, there is an opportunity for the independent expenditures to go spend money and bury Mandami now and define him before he defines himself any further. That poll, the ARP, was at 42. Other polls keep him down low 40s. He needs to get down below 35, and this race is on. If he stays above 40, and to your point, Marcia, where it's one-on-one, I think what you're going to see really is whoever the next mayor is.
Will it ever be one-on-one?
No, it will never be one-on-one, and whoever is the next mayor will be the next mayor with less than 40%.
There's no question about it. Look, Curtis Lee was on my podcast. He said he's not going anywhere. I had Governor Cuomo on my podcast. He says he's absolutely staying in this race. This is going to be a three-person race at the end of the day. Now it's up to Governor Cuomo. This is where it matters. Governor Cuomo now has to define Assemblyman Mamdani, and that means you're going to have to get dirty. And what I mean by dirty in this race is point out all of the things that this man has said in the past and focus on it, especially after Labor Day. And I'm talking about the fact that we call him a socialist.
Look, we have 30 seconds left. Let's let Obi have 30 seconds.
The spending cap prohibits the opportunities for campaigns that they normally have out there. The independent expenditures that can spend unlimited amounts of money, which Mandami's doing the same thing, need to get out there now, spend the money, define Mandami, let Cuomo run his campaign, let Curtis run his campaign, and go forward that way.
Okay, and on that note, we're going to have to leave it right there for now, but we will be right back, and they will be too. We are back with J.C. Polanco and O'Brien Murray. I want to go back a little bit to the mayor's race and the fact that, we did talk about the case that was the indictment that was brought against Ingrid Lewis-Martin, but there was another incident that also happened, and that involved a supporter of the mayor's, Winnie Greco, who tried to give a red envelope of cash in a potato chip bag to a reporter. Does that also affect the mayor's campaign, and does it affect Mayor Adams? It was Winnie Greco, who's a big supporter of his.
A late-night comedy skit would be terrific, except it's August right now, and that won't be aired until September. Maybe we'll rehash that at that point. She's already indicted. I mean, you can indict a ham sandwich and a bag of chips, apparently now, Marcia, to quote one of the lines you coined way back when.
I did coin it, as a matter of fact.
Exactly, but you forgot the bag of chips. I mean, this is all something new. Now,
who knew?
Her lawyer said it's custom. My question is, was this cash she forgot she had in the bag of chips before the indictment?
Here's the question. Here's the question, J.C. Does this also add another layer of smell, for the lack of a better term, to the Adams campaign, or is this just like some weird thing that happened?
I think the mayor is self-sabotaging his campaign by keeping these people around. Why is she around? I mean, she already was in the crosshairs of the law enforcement. Get her out of your campaign. No, he keeps her around. He keeps all these other people around. I don't know.
So are we saying that the
make
mayor
any sense.
has bad judgment, that he surrounds
Terrible
himself?
judgment.
I mean,
I like this guy a great deal. Terrible
look
judgment.
at all the people in his administration.
Terrible judgment. I mean, think about how many phones have been confiscated from this administration, and think about how many people have been indicted, and they still come back for more.
Like we said earlier, innocent until proven guilty, but perception is reality. When they've been indicted or when they're about to be indicted, they leave City Hall, doesn't mean that they should go to the campaign and still stink up the campaign. If I'm running a campaign like that, I want those people out until everything is free and clear for what they've got going on. You can't come volunteer in the campaign at that high a level and be that visible when this is going on. That is not good for any campaign.
Let us now talk about Andrew Cuomo. The new Andrew Cuomo, the new guy that actually talks to people. How's that working out for him?
Can I tell you, my daughter tells me that she sees him on social media all the time, and his sleeves are rolled up. He's everywhere. He's funny. He came onto my podcast, my first guest, and you know what? He says, look, I made a mistake. I should have been out there more, and he's connecting with people.
But it's too little, too late, I think. I mean, think about this. Would he have done that during the Democratic primary? No. He should have done this before. He is there now. He's trying to make a run at it. But again, it's the perception of what he was. He's trying to undo that. I don't know that there's enough time or money or opportunity between now and the general election for him to really change that. He'll make a run at it, but I don't see that the voters are going to say, I'm not voting for Mandani, I'm going to Cuomo right now.
I want to change topics. Let's talk about gerrymandering and what Texas did, what California is going to do, and what New York is trying to do. This is a kind of thing where gerrymandering in midterm elections can sweep the country. Democratic states doing it, Republican states doing it. Is this good for democracy?
I don't think it's good for democracy, but I also don't think what Kathy Hochul did and the Democratic Party did in this state, once there was already a decision made by a judge, by an independent commission, by all these things, they try to put this together and dress it up. The Democrats still come in and try to go against the state constitution on an amendment that was passed. They've done it here in New York, and now they say, oh, it's bad what they're doing in Texas. Yes, it's bad what they're doing in Texas, but we've been doing this here in New York before. It doesn't make two wrongs don't make a right, but you can't stand up here in New York and say it's bad over there. Oops, I did it here before they did. Look, it doesn't work.
You can't do the Pontius Pilate routine that Democrats are trying to do right now. They're trying to wash their hands from all the sins. You can't do that. And the reason for that is that they did it during the midterms last time around. They did it between a census redistricting. They've done it. They did it in Illinois. They did it in New York. It's awful when I see it done. Look, there was once a district here in New York that was carved out 344 times to make sure that that elected official kept his seat. This is disgusting. It's ugly. And I think Americans are going to get tired of it. The problem is that it's a political decision that many constitutions allow.
Is it going to work? Is it going to help the Republicans keep control in 2026?
It's going to help the Republicans. Whether it's enough to keep control, it's too early to tell. But it is, at the end of the day, all this redistricting right now ends up being a net positive for the Republicans, period, end of story.
Why?
Just because the way the numbers work. When they add more in Texas, they go to California. It's going to take 2 years to do that. They have to pass amendments. Same thing in New York.
California allegedly can affect the 2026 seats.
That's
allegedly, they have to have a special election
statewide
right
referendum.
now.
No, it has to be passed by a referendum in November.
It has to be passed, and there also is a referendum. It's much easier in California historically to vote no, which is what the vote is, than to vote yes to change it. Arnold Schwarzenegger is leading the charge against it, along with numerous other people in California, and the polling right now shows it's not even a lock to pass in California to change that law.
You know what the difference is, though, Marsha, between the Democrats and Republicans, and I want you to hear me out on this. The fact is that when the Democrats did it in New York, when they did it in Illinois, it was an organic thing that came out of the state. And when it's happening now is that President Trump, being the benevolent authoritarian figure that he is, told Texas, I need 5 more seats from there, make it happen, and they did. And it feels wrong because it's coming from a direction from an authoritarian figure. And that's the difference here. Now, I'll tell you what else it's important to remember. If this goes out nationally, like you just asked, Democrats lose, and the reason they lose is that there are more Republican states than there are Democrats. So if Republicans and Democrats want to fight this out, it's going to send the Democratic Party to oblivion, not to mention they've lost 4 million registered voters. This will be even worse because all of those red states will carve them out of existence.
You realize if they change the laws in New York and they redistrict again, there will have been redistricting in New York 22, 24, and again in 26. That in New York is sitting there trying to say it's bad man over there for what they're trying to do. That'll have been 3 elections in a row. The voters of New York have had to worry about who do I vote for, where am I, which one is my representative today, and who they're running against. I mean, that is just astronomically hypocritical for what they're trying to do. 3 cycles in a row. Come on, Kathy Hochul, stop being a hypocrite. End this today.
And you know who the biggest loser would be if they were to do that? Your previous guest, Congresswoman Maliotakis, because they're going to put Staten Island and they'll put Park Slope, and somehow it'll end up in the Bronx, believe it or not, if they really wanted to.
Well,
or they'll do Manhattan. They tried Manhattan last time, and they used the ferry as excuse to connect it to.
Well, I mean, you have to take a look at New York. New York only has, a small number of Republican seats. So if they want to change 3 seats, they're going to have to go after her, Mike Lawler, and I don't know. I guess Stefanik you can't.
And I know a lot of these Democrats and
maybe on Long Island
and the operatives in the state legislature.
It would be Long Island is where they would go.
They can absolutely do it. They can absolutely do it if they wanted to. And it's going to be a problem if it happens. I hope it doesn't happen, and I hope that better minds win.
The reality is, don't forget, this is really inside politics. Here we are talking about it. We know what we're talking about. All the questions is what the voters see. But at the end of the day, one of the things, whether it was Elliot Spitzer, whether it was Schneiderman, whether it be Tish James at this point, Kathy Hochul is right in there with them. The voters hate hypocrites, and that's what she is right now, what she's doing right now.
So let's talk about Zohran Mandani. He has a very left of center agenda. He wants things that people care about, though. Free buses, supermarkets at the city, free healthcare, supermarkets, things like that. Can he achieve his agenda, number one, given the fact that a lot of these things would have to be funded by a tax on rich people, which is unlikely to get Kathy Hochul's approval?
He's left of left. I don't think he's left of center. He makes Fidel Castro say, damn, wait a minute, give me my beret back. That's what I think. But I think...
You said beret.
Beret.
That's not Curtis Lee.
No, I'm talking about Fidel. But what's interesting about your question, Marcia, is that if Assemblyman Mandani does as well in the general as he did in the primary in many of these assembly districts and state senate districts in New York City, and he tells them, I want free buses, take it up to Albany, I would wonder if the senator or assembly member...
Where is this money going to come from? Look, we've got cuts from Washington that he has to deal with, that she has to deal with in Albany. You've got cuts from Washington that the city has to deal with. There's not a lot of money. What are you going to do? You have to make cuts. Where are you going to find the money for these programs?
Think about this. How many Democrats are afraid to endorse Mandani? He will be an albatross around the neck of Kathy Hochul against anything that is a toss-up district.
Look, you
and
can't
Hakeem
print
Jeffries.
money. You cannot print money.
Right.
But we have to live within our means. If there's big cuts in New York and they want to restore, for example, health care, and there's, SNAP, food benefits and other things like that, where are they going to get the money for all these things? You can't.
Mandani is going to say, Kathy Hochul, give me the money, raise the taxes. That's what he's going to claim.
And was Kathy Hochul going to be able to win re-election
She won't.
by raising taxes?
Not at all. And she also have a problem if Mandani, who right now is in the lead in the polls, becomes the next mayor. He will be the albatross. Everything he's calling for, even with her not allowing the spending to take place, everything he wants to spend on will be dollars that everyone around New York City will be against, and that will be blamed on Hochul and the Democratic Party.
What I was saying was that if you're not supporting his policies and he wins your assembly district or your senate district, you have to vote his way in Albany or he's coming after you. The Democratic Socialists of America will primary you if you don't fall in line. What you're watching is a cult of personality right now in New York City with Mandani. If you don't support him, ask these local Democrats who are not. They're getting primary. Richie Torres is getting a primary.
Yes.
No. Go down the list. Senator Ramos is getting a primary. They're threatening Hakeem Jeffries, a future speaker, with a primary. If you don't endorse this guy and all his policies, you're cooked in a primary. And quite frankly, the Democratic Socialists of America are becoming very popular here because they were able to win this Democratic primary.
That's because everybody else doesn't vote.
And that's a problem.
They're also intimidating everybody. Don't forget what happened to Jamal Bowman, the former congressman. They went after him. The minute he stepped off 1 inch and supported Israel at all, DSA went after him at that point. He still lost his re-election to Latimer. But what's happening with DSA is they are getting bigger, better, stronger, and smarter. They're not even a party, and they don't have to operate in the same rules. They are the socialists of America that happen to have the word Democrat in front of their name.
And they've hijacked the Democrats.
Last question. Does Mandani have a police problem?
I think so, especially when you take a look at what he's actually said about the police. When you study it, he definitely has. He can cry now in front of the cameras. He can say how much he loves the police and talk, but what he believes and what he said is there, and it has to be exposed. And I think that he'll have a police problem moving in. And even though de Blasio had a problem, he has a major one.
That's the amazing thing. Right now, you have Eric Adams and Curtis Lee with duking it out as far as the police go. And then you have Mandani, who has an opportunity to step up and say, this is what I will do and how I'll do it. To clear up your question, Marsha, the perception's going to be Mandani is so far out of touch that the safety of New York is going to come into question. Who is going to have the lane that says, I can keep New Yorkers safe? That means I can come here to work, I can come here to travel, I can come here to live. What's going to happen? Who's going to protect all New Yorkers? And it sure isn't Mandani. Who can run that lane?
So last thing, I want to go back to Eric Adams and the effect that this indictment is going to have on his campaign. Does it push him out, or does it push him lower in the polls?
It'll push him lower in the poll. I don't think he's going to step out of the race. I think right now, if I were advising him, I'd say, look, step down, support Governor Cuomo, make this a 2-3 person race.
Lower in the polls. Fundraising is going to evaporate at this point. I mean, the city mayor of New York should have raised all this money before, not even need matching funds, and he keeps whining and crying, saying, give me more money from the city taxpayers because I'm running for office. Don't give it to him at CFB. It is a corrupt administration today, and it is going to continue to be so. No campaign money is going to show up. No more voters are going to show up, and he's going to be in this to the bitter end because he's going to try to see what he can do to save any legacy he thinks he has, and it's all going down the toilet right now, end of day.
And on that note, thank you guys for joining me, and thank you at home for joining me as well.